In this video, guys, we shall be taking a look at the 2007 animated comedy, also made by Sony, Surf's Up. So without further ado, let's get into today's review. Let's get into it. So I thought then that this particular movie was simple and solid. That is the best way to describe this movie. It was different from what we've seen before with Sony animated movies. There isn't a vast lot of them, but out of the ones that they have made, this was very different, as it had this sort of like reality TV vibe going on, as there was interviews with different characters, but there was also a story arc going as well, and it was very, very, very good. For a movie that is reality based, I'm not into my reality shows, but it had a really nice positive vibe about it, and it was funny. It had makeshift drama in there. That's what you normally see in these stupid reality shows, but that's what we're seeing. And it was great how they explored that in an animated movie, as that's only been done before. I think it was in Creature Comforts. But yeah, this sort of vibe just works for animation, and to me, I think they should have done more movies like this one. On the simplistic sides of things, I thought it was very, very simple, easy to understand. The villain was Tank, but he weren't really a villain, he was just competition. Same with what this can be compared to is really Cars, as it has the basic simple thread of Cars. Cars is different, as it is obviously with Cars, and these obviously with penguins doing slightly different things. When I mean slightly, I mean completely different. One's in water, one's on road. However, the same can be said from both, which is that both of them have a try at being a rookie going into a thing. Both fail for being too big-headed, and then they both get experience from people that they didn't mean to bump into, but sort of like legendary figures and legendary racers of certain competitions, and then they get the experience from them, try going into the final, and both sacrifice their chances of winning to sacrifice it for somebody else's safety and to help somebody else in that competition out, either to win the competition like in Surf's Up, or to basically push him over the line so he finishes second and he gets the gratitude of actually finishing his last race. Whereas I think this is very, very similar to Cars, and that's why I would say it's got this Carsy sort of vibe to it. But I would say that it made it slightly different, having that reality TV show vibe with it, in which made it a little bit more positive and helped hide the ways that it could be similar to Cars. But I think it worked as a whole. I think it was exciting, entertaining. I think it did its job at being an entertaining comedy movie. Moving on then, I also thought this movie was kind of inspirational in different elements in different ways. Even though it hides it with a lot of comedy, it is quite inspirational, as at the beginning of the movie, this kid had a dream of becoming a surfer and tried to do his surfing moves out in the Arctic with no waves. And he really wanted to become a surfer, so as soon as the opportunity arises, he takes that opportunity, tries out, and then fails because he doesn't have that experience, but he wanted to give it a go because this is his dream. And then after accidentally bumping into a former legend who was meant to be dead, he then learns the skills needed to go ahead and achieve his dream of getting to a final and being treated as a proper surfer. And he managed to achieve that dream just by working hard, keeping on going. And even though he was big-headed at the beginning, which we'll talk about later on, I do think that he got what he deserved by the end of it, as he was so passionate about surfing and managed to get what he needed out of his trip to the Penguin Islands. Moving away from Cody for a little split second, Zeke's character development was awesome and off the chart, if you ask me, and this was sort of like the backbone of why I like Surf's Up. And to me, a lot of that stems from the story behind it of Zeke coming out and as dead, simply to hide the fact that these youngsters and these rookies are coming through, which are far better than he is and have far better potentials. And this is an old guy still trying to do it with these young guys, and he knew he weren't going to be able to live up to their levels, so that's where he faked his own death to sort of hide the fact that he didn't lose on that particular surfing competition. And I thought that was really good. I thought that was exciting. I thought that element of things, of this sort of backstory, and this is why he hides out in a hut away from the public eye, because he knows people recognize him. Very recognizable figure, very recognizable icon, and he hides away because he's ashamed of probably what he did, probably that he should have finished his race, and that he, after that moment he faked his death, lost the passion for surfing. But I love how he gets back into that passion of surfing through Cody accidentally stumbling on him after he has a fall in a surfing competition, gets brought to him to help him out and get him back on his feet. And from then on, I feel that Cody and Zeke really get that relationship going, where they both gain that passion to go with surfing and to get back out on the water. And I thought that was brilliant. And then obviously he reveals himself back into the public eye at the end of the movie, in which was really, really good and showed like a full circle sort of thing. And I thought that was the best way possible, that this story could have ended with him revealing that he was actually alive. Moving on to back onto Cody then, I thought that his character development was great, but small, but weird at the same time, because he started off really big-headed, thought he knew it all, complete and utter prick really, until he has his first failure, his first obstacle that puts him down a peg or two. And that's when he learns, actually, he's not as big as he thinks he is, and the rest is all history. And then that's how he accidentally stumbles into Zeke. Zeke helps him out, but obviously he doesn't want to take in the information from Zeke because he's still too big-headed. But when he listens to Zeke, he learns the abilities. He goes back into that finale, but he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, but proves that chip on his shoulder is gone completely when he helps save Chicken Joe from Tank, in which was great to see. Is obviously we saw Cody develop as a penguin in this sort of scenario. It was really intriguing, very good story, very good character development if you ask me, because at the end he becomes more humble. Finally then, I thought the likes of Shia LaBeouf, the likes of Jon Heder, the likes of Zooey Deschanel, Jeff Bridges and James Woods were all incredible as the actors and actresses in this particular movie. To summarise then, I thought that this was a solid and simple movie, great animation, hence why I rate this movie a 7.3 and a world-class film. So let me know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it terrible? Is it amazing? Let me know down in the comments down below, please. Also, we have noticed not enough people have been hitting that subscribe button, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell and hit that like button, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Later.